Hi, I'm Wendy Lowy Sloan, and this is What's Up with Wendy's podcast. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I began my career in New York City as a television producer for talk show legends Phil Donahue and Geraldo Rivera. And for the last decade, I've used these experiences to create my unique style in interviewing hundreds of A-list celebrities, newsmakers, comedians, musicians, reality stars, fitness and nutrition experts, best-selling authors, and so much more. So I hope you enjoy this wide variety on my podcast. I hope you'll share and subscribe. And again, thanks for tuning in. My special guest today I'm so excited for. Up next on What's Up with Wendy's podcast, he is best known for playing Bruce Banner's alter ego, the Incredible Hulk, in the popular 1970s television show. He is also a bodybuilder pioneer legend. I am so excited for this interview. Lou Ferrigno is joining me up next. I'm so excited for this interview today. Fitness icon, motivational speaker, actor, founder of Ferrigno Fit. You may know him as the original Incredible Hulk. He is also a bodybuilder pioneer legend. I'm so excited to welcome Lou Ferrigno, but also by him, Dr. Brian Kaplan, Chairman, Department of Otology, Ear, Nose, and Throat. I hope I said that right. Welcome, both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So I'm going to get to Dr. Kaplan, but I first want to start with you, Lou. Can you what an incredible story that you have, and what an incredible person you are. Can you take us back to that little boy? You said you were a very introverted, skinny child. You had an ear infection and you had severe nerve damage. Tell us how that affected your life.
Well, close to birth, I've lost like 85% of my hearing. The way it affected my life, I became very introverted. I had a severe speech impediment and the hearing issues. So I had to wear this old-fashioned hearing aid, and kids make fun of me because children don't have the psychological defenses to defend themselves.
Right.
So I was always isolated as a kid. And I remember I was like a real-life Walter Mitty. I had to fantasize the thing that I wanted to become. I had to read a lot of comic books, like Spider-Man, the Hulk, because I was very obsessed with power. And I remember I discovered bodybuilding. It changed my life because it became my passion. But over the years, I've worn many different hearing aids, and it gave me more volume. I was able to hear. But the nice thing about what happened with me 2 months ago, I was given a cochlear implant. And it was a life-changing experience because now I have an incredible clarity understanding. With people more confident in my speech, throughout my life, I had to speak by the feeling of my tongue, and I had a hard time, saying the word clearly, especially the consonant. But now with this implant, I'm able to go to the next level, and it's given me tremendous confidence in myself, my speech, speaking to people, and especially hearing other people and appreciate hearing them the way they say the words.
Isn't that amazing? So you were about six or 7 years old, and you discovered the superheroes and you wanted to be like them. And then through that, you discovered your muscles. Was that what gave you the confidence?
Yes, because when I was born, I was rejected by my father because I was not the perfect son. But ever since I started to build muscle from bodybuilding, I want to respect from people. More than anything, I want the people to respect me, not bully me, not make fun of me, because they used to call me Deaf Louie, Deaf Mute. I felt like instead of feeling sorry for myself, I'm going to take action and be the best I can be within myself. Because my whole model, my whole life is about maximizing what I have. And that's why when I speak to people, especially now with the cochlear implant, it's bringing so much hope to thousands all over the world.
I'm going to get back to that, and I want to hear your story of the phone call that you got when they were casting for the Hulk, but I'm going to talk to Dr. Brian Kaplan right now. So, Doctor, 1 out of every 3 people over the age of 65 in the U.S. are affected by disabling hearing loss. Half of those are over 75. Researchers show that aging adults with untreated hearing loss can be substantially affected by social isolation, loneliness, which impacts brain health and quality of life. Talk to us about that, and talk to us about the new implant.
Yeah. So again, thanks for having me. And you're exactly right. It's much more than just about a patient's hearing. We know that as you start to lose your hearing, patients start to become isolated because they say, well, I can't hear at the dinner party. I can't hear at the work meeting, so I may as well retire. And they stop having those social interactions and engagements. And that leads to that depression. They become isolated, We know there's higher rates of cognitive decline, of falls, hospitalization. And so all of those elements are really raising the awareness from the entire healthcare profession regarding the importance of proper diagnosis and treatment for patients with hearing loss. We know the baby boomers are all aging, and the numbers of patients within the United States is really growing exponentially through the years. So this is becoming a large public health issue as well as we move on. And I think you heard from Lou earlier, this is really a life-changing technology. We have millions of people living with a moderate to profound hearing loss in the U.S. who are wearing hearing aids for many years, that it's no longer giving them the clarity of speech. A hearing aid really is amplifying the sound, but it's not doing anything to improve the clarity. And that's where a cochlear implant comes in, because it brings back that clarity and lets them understand speech, typically to a much improved level from where they were earlier on. And now these folks can re-engage in the workforce, re-engage with their family. And we see even central changes in the brain that we can pick up on some of our imaging studies now. And it's really an exciting intervention. And the fastest growing group of folks getting cochlear implants in the United States are actually people over the age of 65.
That's pretty remarkable. I wish my dad was still here to have that implant, because he had the typical old hearing aids. What a step! What a huge step for everybody with this.
Absolutely, and surgery is often it's a scary topic for anyone, and I'm sure Lou will give you his personal journey for that. But in general, you just have to remember this is a quick outpatient procedure, right? This typically takes an hour and a half or 2 hours, a very small incision behind your ear. You go home an hour or two later and are back re-engaging with your life in a few days. So it's not often as scary as someone makes it out to be. And we'd encourage everyone to seek out more information if they're struggling with their hearing.
Dr. Brian Kaplan, thank you so much for that. If you just tuned in, I'm talking to Dr. Brian Kaplan and Lou Ferrigno. Obviously, you know him the best from The Incredible Hulk. Lou, take us back to that phone call when they were casting for the Hulk. Your whole life came full circle because you dreamed of that for 20 years.
Well, I was training for the Miss Olympia competition in 1977. And then the phone rings that they had a casting call for the Hulk. I said to myself, this is fantastic, because I've been the Hulk my whole life. So I went down to the because at the time they were using someone else, a tall guy. He didn't have the physique, so they had decided to reshoot the whole pilot. So I went in for the screen test, and they said we had to paint you green. And I said to myself, I want to get painted green. So they gave me some compensation because I was going to try to talk my way out of it. I remember screen test, and then I had to show all these animalistic poses and everything. So they hired me on the spot, and the next day I'm in the chamber, screaming, yelling, punching my way out of this chamber. And I'm saying to myself, 24 hours later, I said, what am I doing here? Little did I realize that it became one of the most beloved characters all over the world, because most people have a hero inside of us. So I relate to that because I was angry my whole life. That's why I was able to portray that character. That's why now we had 3 decades of people following this Incredible Hulk and this series. So it really changed my life.
Amazing. And you did your own stunts, like jumping off the second floor buildings because no one had your physique. Is that true?
Yes, because anybody else who dealt with me didn't have the physique and couldn't look like me. So people have to say that was Lou Ferrigno that went through the window. That was him jumping off. So we had good stunt people. But I really never got injured. We had great stunt coordinators, but to make the show believable, I basically had to do 99% of my own stunts.
Amazing. And something about the Hulk, the green color, right? Because there's no judgment there with green.
Exactly, because I remember a long time ago I had to do a scene. I was running up an escalator, and I remember I grabbed my wig and I said something is missing. I saw these 2 hearing aids coming down the escalator. I was so embarrassed. People looked at me and said, "What is this?" It's a hearing aid, because back many years ago, people were not educated about hearing aids, especially hearing loss, because hearing loss is a silent disease. It's not like somebody has a knee replacement or you see scars. But this is something that I'm very excited about it, because back then they couldn't use my voice because of my speech, but now everything had changed because the Hulk was the beginning. So now I'm at a point where I just basically go to the next level.
Pretty amazing. What's your workout routine like now?
I train almost every day. I do 30 minutes of cardio, 45 minutes of training, which is very important because when you get older, you always want to maintain what you have. I used to train very heavy, so I'm very consistent about everything I do, and especially you gotta have good dietary eating habits as well.
That's right. What would you say to all those little superheroes out there, Lou?
Well, you mean for our health or for the cochlear implant?
As far as them, the little superheroes looking up to the Supermans and the Hulks and the Batmans and the Spider-Mans and dreaming of being something someday like you did.
I would say to follow your dream and embrace your passion, because every one of us has a different passion. My passion would fit into bodybuilding. Some people may have a passion when it comes to other things in life, because you maximize your own personal power, be the best you can be, and not compete with other people. You're rich. That's the best advice I can give. Don't compete with others. Compete with yourself. Be the best you can be.
Well, that's pretty amazing. Lou Ferrigno, thank you for sharing your story. And thank you, Dr. Brian Kaplan, for talking about the cochlear implants. What a big step in such a huge, this is a huge deal.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you both.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Best known for her starring role in Southern Charm on Bravo, author of the best-selling book, One Day You'll Thank Me, charming advice on everyday topics, teaming up with Moe's Grill to share tips on menus even kids will enjoy. Well, that's a miracle. And the Kids Eat Free contest. Welcome to my show, Cameran, Eubanks, Wimberly.
Thank you for having me.
How are you? How's everything? Are you there?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, okay. How's everything?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're so welcome. How did you survive during the pandemic?
Oh, the beginning of the pandemic was crazy because I was so worried about my husband and his job. He's an anesthesiologist, so he is in people's airways all day, every day. I cried probably for like 2 weeks straight, but obviously now we're much better, and he's fully vaccinated and feeling a lot better about the whole thing. Ready for it to be over.
That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. I couldn't imagine, because he was so on the front lines of all this. And for all those who are on the front lines, it's such a scary thing.
Yes, it was very, very scary. He would take all of his clothes off in the garage, go straight to the shower, and there were several nights that we didn't even sleep in the same bedroom because we had no idea about what was going to happen. Yeah,
it certainly was a crazy time. Hopefully we're like near the end of it and everything's going to be okay. Tell us, you're teaming up with Moe's to announce their Kids Eat Free program. Tell us about it.
Yes. So we are longtime fans of Moe's, and now children can eat free there on Sunday. They get a free meal with the purchase of an adult entree. So this is huge for busy parents, busy families, and you just can't go wrong with Moe's. I mean, it's hard not to like Moe's because there's something there for everybody.
So tell us, what's there? What's your favorite?
I typically either get a chicken quesadilla or I get the junior burrito. And in the junior burrito, I get chicken, cheese, rice, beans. I always get queso. I dip it in the queso. And salsa. I love their salsa.
So fun. So what happens when, kids, I think during the pandemic, we were all kind of like a little bit in the kitchen a little bit more. We were all cooking a little bit more. I think when kids get to make their own menus and to create something special, that helps as well too, don't you think?
Yes, it is. It's very hard to get kids, especially at this age, to eat. They're super picky. I think one way is to get them involved in the kitchen, encourage them to work with you when you're cooking, and maybe encourage them to help you create certain meals. And along with this, Moe's is actually doing their mini chef contest. So it is a way to encourage kids to come up with a menu item, and the winner gets their menu item on the menu, along with a free year supply of chocolate chip cookies and a trip to the Moe's test kitchen. So definitely get the kids excited about cooking and the creative process.
Do you have suggestions for any easy meals on the go? I always find mealtime to be challenging for me. And my kids are older, but through when they were little and growing up, always hard for me.
Yes, it is hard finding, especially healthy stuff that's on